Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We're back for another discussion with Mark. Today we're going to be asking Mark if he has read the Bible.
Yeah, of course. I've read the Bible inside out many times. I am an ordained minister and also I am a theologian, and I spent many years studying with George Christian Azariah on Egyptology, linguistics, uh, antiquities, of course, as well as theology.
Yeah.
But of course, as a lovely a book as it is, it's very telling. It's also a book on banking. It's also a book on how to screw people up and how they screwed you up, as in the tale of the Tower of Babel.
Yes.
Let's go forth and confuse their language. Like, for example, in the New Testament, it's got the book of Acts.
Yes. It's there, plain to see.
The book of Acts. Yeah, it's scripture. And what does a scripture mean? It means script for an actor.
Yeah, playwright.
Yeah, it's a playwright, and that's why they call it scripture. It's a playwright that's been scripted for actors, acting as if they got faith. That's why when you meet Christians, they're faithless buffoons.
They are.
They're hopeless buffoons. And above all, what I've noticed is they are babbling buffoons.
And ignorant as well.
And ignorant, because they're all just actors.
And the thing that's upsetting as well is they don't take any information outside of the Bible. If it's not in the Bible, it's not happened.
The outside world, as you and I know, doesn't exist outside of that book.
Yeah, exactly.
There is no McDonald's in the world. The sky is not blue, but it needs to be qualified through that book called Bible. And what does Bible mean?
Two contracts.
It means by. Yeah, two. That's it. By.
And then BLE is contract, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the old English word for contract. So you have two-party contract, two-person contract.
So you need two to contract.
Correct.
Yeah. Can't do it on your own.
Can't do it on your own. So it's as you receive it, you need to contract with it, okay? And you have the old English word BLE, which means contract.
Wow.
As in able. The able is the poison prefix.
No contract.
That's it. So it's a script created by a script writer for actors pretending to have faith, hope, glory, and of course babbling their way through life.
Yeah.
That's the power of the iconoclastic wave sweeping this planet as I reveal this type of information.
Yeah.
He believes. Men and women have faith.
Yeah.
That's why you never meet any religious people with faith. When you meet men and women with faith,
They've not got no religion. They're not really got religion.
They ain't got no religion.
They're more spiritual.
They are what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when they talk about the Bible, they'll make perfect sense out of it because it's faith.
Yeah.
It's their faith, not their belief.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? That's why these street preachers, these evangelical Allah Bullahs and born again Christians and these Hindu Bindus, just all arseholes on our planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's right there when you open up the New Testament, Book of Acts.
Even tells you about idolizing as well, idolizing fake idols and worshipping fake idols.
Almost
The
as
book
if
is
to
a fake
say you
idol.
really will have to be deaf, dumb and blind.
Yeah.
3, that is, yeah?
Deaf.
Because without a trust formation, you are deaf, dumb and blind.
The opposite 3.
You lack providence. You lack faith, charity, hope, etc.
Still getting categorized.
Whatever we're speaking about, we're dealing in the realm of the underworld.
Yeah.
The people that have lack of faith and all this is part of the fiction world called the shadow world. And they have their own bureaucracy that controls that. Jesus said it beautifully. Yeah. It's like, let the dead bury the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
Quite literally. So walking people is saying, oh, actually, they're dead. They have no ears to hear with, no heart to feel with, no mind to think with. It's Batman that you need to tear the wings off. And you will always notice the Bruce Wayne's butler is always what?
What's his name?
English.
English, yes, he is.
And who's the butler, even though he's so-called black, in Will Smith's?
He's a black guy.
It's all
English,
Englishman.
English, yeah, English. It
With
was
a black
like,
skin, with a
can't think
dark
of his
skin.
name. I used to
Yeah,
love him. He was the best one out of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
can't think of his name.
so you will find in American soap opera, it's not because the butler is English, it's because they're telling you this is an English system we created for fiction people.
And that's the sign through the film. They'll show you just one English member.
Yeah, because English is not a white man.
Mm.
English is just English people.
Yeah.
It's like saying Arabic people are only Arabs. You know, there's no such thing. They're from
It's an
Africa.
idea, isn't it?
It's just it's
It's
an
just
idea.
Yeah.
And Arab is only a legal fiction. Yeah, only a couple of hundred years old. And Egypt is only a legal fiction, only a couple of hundred years old. The pyramids are part of that legal fiction.
I know. It's when you find out a certain history, a high story, as they like to say. If you look at the words high story, you will see that we've literally got everything back to front, upside down, sideways. Everything we think is the fact is lies. Everything that we believe we've been growing up with as part of our childhood is all full of lies. We've literally had to start again, find your feet again, literally research everything again. I was going to ask you how to get back our real history because it causes so much conflict, Mark.
Yeah.
You know, if we didn't call ourselves black man, white man, orange man, green man, we'd all just be man. What would we argue about?
So I'll answer that question since you're asking it. Who looks for history in order to have a grounding, in order to have that center of gravity? Fiction people do.
Fiction.
Where do I come from? I must come from Egypt, the land of the pharaohs. Now, that was just created out of the British Museum a few hundred years ago. That's a legal fiction. Look it up. Type in Egypt and get rid of the E, and it will say, oh, that's the old word for Egypt.
So it's just gyps.
Gypt. They were called gyps.
Yeah, and is that where gypsies would really come from? Yeah,
it's all
gyps.
It's what you know. People are. You
Someone
understand?
else's religion. Yeah.
Yeah, and about 10% of Americans know that now. That's why these 10% of Americans are just telling the sheriffs, the next door neighbor, to go fuck yourself, man. You're an asshole. I thought that's the epitome of what Americans allowed their culture to become, because they've allowed these people to hijack their world. The Americans need to purge these fuckers out because this shit is coming all across the ocean and coming to our world. And sorry about using this colloquialism.
No, it's
I only recently kind of picked it up and I realised it's quite
it's a thing. It's actually a thing that people do that. You know, people actually sit on it. Not doesn't see the light of day, but they feel the need because they're that insecure.
As a Chief Federal Postal Court judge, as well as a plenipotentiary judge, I've initiated through the Bank of International Settlements for each bank to honour its own debts. The so-called crisis that you're seeing at the moment is the collapse of that fraudulent system of their private banknotes, which have no value whatsoever. The Securities and Exchange Commission use your security as well as the Federal Reserve. They use your securities. That means you have backed their fraudulent documents, their fraudulent instruments, for them to be able to steal your homes, your properties, your lands, and then tax you on their fraud. They also try to imprison you with using their own fraud. The system is now being collapsed, initiated by me, as well as David Wayne Miller, at the beginning of when he started. Any debts that are coming through your letterbox are not valid. They have no existence and they have no claim. At this stage, you can go through my website, go through the Patreons, and it'll tell you the things that you need to do. But you do need to go through my website and you do need to put your name in there so the world knows what it is that you are doing. Just in case if you have not understood what I have said, all debts globally are invalid on the people. It is actually the de facto privatocracies, if you like, that actually hold the instruments of debt by themselves. The instruments are theirs, not yours. There are no mortgages on this planet. There are no debts, no credit cards, etc. They are also lending your credits.